all your hard work, what will happen, God forbid, if anything happened to you today in diaspora? What will happen to all the hard work that you've put in if anything happened to you? Welcome again to the channel. And before I even say anything, if you are a diasporan, whether you are, Nigerian, Ethiopian, Polish, or any nationality, I want to ask you a question. What do you think? Or rather, before I go ahead, I want to commend you and say, first of all, it's quite clear that there are a lot of you out there who are hard workers. You're working hard, you've left your country, and some of you might very well be, with children, dependents, wives, spouses, what have you. And you probably are busy working very hard, supporting family members back home, wherever you come from, whether it's Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Poland, Bulgaria, you name it. But often, we all, including yourself, neglect one of the most important things. And I have come here to discuss that with you. And as I go ahead, I have a few points I made. Bear with me, just so I don't forget anything. And I want you, or rather to ask you, a very simple question, yes or no. Do you have a will? And if the answer is no, don't worry, we are going to fix that in a very easy way. And I'd like to remind you why you need a will, especially if you're someone in the diaspora. Because you see, I know a lot of you watching this sometimes due to cultural beliefs or lack of exposure, especially people from Africa or some parts of Asia. People tend to think that if I talk about my will, that means I'm wishing, the person is wishing, going. I don't want to use the D word because sometimes YouTube does not like that. But you understand what I'm saying. But that is far from it. At the end of the day, every one of us going home where we meet our maker is something we cannot escape. And it is rather a myth that some people, like I said, Africa or some parts of Asia, superstitious, unnecessary. It doesn't mean you're going any soon. It simply means that you care very much about your life, all you're doing, and trying to protect your life, your assets, your dependents, your wife, your husband, or whatever your wish may be. So don't see making a will to be something negative. It's not, especially if you're in the diaspora, wherever your diaspora may be. But for those of you in the UK, I speak to you specifically, and I want you to understand certain things some people do not know. You may be busy. I made a few points. You may be busy, working very hard. Think of it, you have a car. What do? You insure your car, don't you? You have a house. What do? You insure your house. Why do you insure your house, your car, or even your health? For those of you that have health insurance, you do so because you value your car. You value your house. You want to make sure that, God forbid, if anything happens to your house or your car, that insurance is there to smooth things over and rectify the situation as quickly and as normal as possible. So my question to you is, if you value your car, you value your house, you value the people you send money to back home here and there, how much more your life? Because you see, a lot of you out there, you may or may not agree with me, especially you diasporans. you tend to neglect yourself. Many of you work so hard. You work so hard to, whether it's to please other people, whether it's to help other people, because naturally your heart is there. But often, how many times do you actually take time to think about all your hard work? What will happen, God forbid, if anything happened to you today in diaspora? What will happen to all the hard work that you've put in if anything happened to you in diaspora? And this is what I have come here to discuss with you. You see, as members, or rather UK diasporans, many of you, like I said, you work very hard, you send money back home, you're buying properties, you're supporting loved ones in 2 or 3 countries, but there's the truth most of you avoid. If you do not have a will, let me let you know what happens if you're in the UK and you live in diaspora, whether you live in London, you live in Scotland, you live in Wales, you live in Northern Ireland. The law will decide what happens to your property when you die if you do not have a will. And having a will is as simple as barely 5 minutes for a very minimal one-time cost. A very minimal cost that could save you and your loved ones an awful lot of trouble. You see, by avoiding some of these realities of life, which is where in general speaking, I'm not saying all Europeans have will, but the European mentality often beats the African mentality, where they are used to facing facts. And you, as someone who has been living in the UK, should be able to adjust your mentality. Forget all those superstitious things people back home. Oh, why are you talking about a will? Oh, my wife may delete me. Oh, my husband may delete me. That is not so. And of course, even if you have a will and you don't want a spouse, which I don't know how people do it, because as a couple, you should work together. But should you be in that kind of marriage where you feel rather more comfortable that your spouse does not know you have a will, the important thing is that you make a will and let someone know somehow, or if for certain, I'll leave you with details of where when I first started, this idea came into my head. I acquired my own. It's very simple, and if you want them, if you want to think of ways of where to be sure that will, if should anything happen to you, is known to someone, because it's rather better to have a will than not to have anything at all. Because you see, like I said, if you die without a will in United Kingdom, the law decides what happens to your asset. All that work you've been doing for years, all your property, all your money, it's not your family, it's not your children, it's not anybody, it's the law. So you see, no will, no control. If you do not have a will or make that step, that 1 minute step, I will be leaving a link that will help you to find the simplest, easiest way to acquire a will today. And it does not take time. It's very easy. These are simple things that would let your loved ones know, or the authority know, should anything happen to you, this is what this person wished for. Of course, I know there are situations where it might have been a little bit more complex. Nonetheless, it's always advisable to speak to a solicitor, a lawyer, wherever you may be. But by having this simple one first, rather than putting it off all the time, it's better to have something you have actually written. you have actually put together that gives your loved ones, all the authorities, at least an inkling. If you have a complex situation I'm talking about, otherwise, most wills are pretty straightforward and you don't always need a lawyer to make a will. So the main thing you need to remember is that if you don't have a will, you have no control. And no will means that you could have a lot of delay with things that concerns you should you for any reason not be here any longer. It could incur high legal costs for your loved ones or even the money you've left being used for legal costs. Even your family could end up in dispute because some things you may have abroad or with your things here, there clear definitely will be confusion. So if you have children, dependents, or property in different countries, it is essential, I advise you, to try today and get a will. And of course, I will be leaving my code somewhere below or link that will help you learn more how to acquire your own will within a short time. On this note, check out my next video. My name is IJ. Please share this video with someone. And of course, please hit the like button, subscribe. So when I upload other useful videos, you'll be amongst the first to know. And until next time, thank you again and follow on my next part 2 about having your will. Having a will gives you the control over your hard-earned, hard-worked assets. Thank you again for joining me. My name is Sajay, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.